My child, my beloved. If this message is showing up for you on December 22, it's not random. It's not luck. It's not just another video. It's heaven's final call to you. You were not supposed to skip this. And if you do, something holy, something very rare, will pass you by forever. This is the final divine interruption of your life before something irreversible happens. Michael is watching. Jesus is whispering. And your name was just brought up in a place you can't even imagine. Before you continue, heaven says, if this message is reaching your heart, please subscribe now. That action alone may align you to the miracle about to be released. Don't let the algorithm decide your destiny. Let God lead it. Because, my child, you have exactly 15 seconds left before something spiritual either activates or expires. And this is no ordinary countdown. This is a heavenly expiration. Jesus is begging you with divine urgency. Michael is standing before you with his sword drawn, not against you, but for you. But they can only shield you if you open your spirit right now. My beloved, something is moving toward you so fast, and it carries both danger and decision. God has allowed you to see this message because there is still time, a little time, to change what could destroy you. This is not fear. This is mercy. This is not threat. This is protection. There's something in your life you haven't noticed. It's been pulling you down, delaying your miracles, confusing your soul. And now, heaven wants to remove it. But they can't do it without your permission. You've been skipping signs. You've been dodging nudges. You've been too afraid to look directly at the thing that's breaking you. But Archangel Michael has been sent one last time. To hold your hand. To pierce through your confusion. To reveal who and what is harming you. And if you don't open your eyes now, this could be the last time they try. My child. They are begging you. They are weeping over your life. Jesus is saying, my chosen one is slipping away and they don't know what's coming. This is not just a message. It's a moment. A holy one. A turning point. If you ignore it, they'll have to step back. And you may be left fully exposed. No more signs. No more dreams. No more protections. Only silence. Do you feel that burning in your chest right now? That's not fear. That's activation. Something inside you knows this message was handpicked for you. It came to your screen when your soul was weakest. When your decisions were slipping. When your confusion was winning. But heaven fought to send it anyway. Because my child, you are still redeemable. You are still restorable. You are still chosen. But not if you delay again. You've already skipped the signs. You've already scrolled past the angels before. You've already silenced the voice inside you that tried to cry out. But now, God has sent Michael with the strongest warning of all. If you ignore this one, you may lose something heaven can't restore again. Please don't test what's sacred. Please don't assume you'll get another message. You have 15 seconds. This is that moment. This is that second. This is that spiritual flash in time where your protection is either locked in or removed. Heaven is not threatening you. Heaven is begging you. Archangel Michael is pleading. Don't skip this again. Your life, your real one, is just behind this message. But if you turn away this time, we cannot shield you from what's coming. You have been chosen to hear this while others are sleeping. You have been pulled aside while others are distracted. You have been marked while others are playing games with their fate. This is divine mercy. And it comes wrapped in a warning. My child, my beloved. Heaven never warns without a purpose. And this message didn't travel all this way just to be ignored like all the others. Something is about to shift, and that shift can either become your greatest breakthrough or your deepest regret. The choice is in your hands, but the time is not. You see, heaven has been trying to reach you for days, even weeks, but something or someone around you has been clouding your discernment. There have been whispers in the night, subtle dreams that you forgot as soon as you opened your eyes, signs on the street, phrases you overheard, random thoughts that came and went, but they were not random. They were signals. Now heaven is speaking clearly, loudly, and for the final time this year. Archangel Michael and Jesus are standing right beside your name, and this time they're not asking, they're begging. They're weeping. They're holding the scroll of your life and saying, this soul doesn't even realize what's coming. You were meant to see this because something is about to fall into place, or fall apart, depending on whether or not you listen. And if you walk away, it won't be their silence that breaks you. It will be the silence inside you, that painful knowing that you missed your last sign. There's something about today, December 22nd, that is different. It's not like yesterday. It won't be like tomorrow. Something invisible has opened in the spiritual world. A gate. A window. A final portal of intervention. After this, things will move faster than you can prepare for. And heaven doesn't want you caught in that storm unprotected. You've been under a kind of delay, a divine holding pattern, not because you were being punished, but because you weren't ready yet. But now? Now, the holding has ended. The skies are about to pour. The veil is thinning. The truth is about to hit you in a way that will either save you or undo you. And that is why Michael is pleading so personally. He's seen the enemy circling your house. He's seen the moment coming where someone close to you reveals their true face. He's seen what will happen if you keep trusting what looks safe but is secretly sabotaging you. That's why he was released today, not just to visit you, but to wake you up. This is your wake-up call in the spirit. If you hit snooze again, there will be consequences no one else can reverse for you. My beloved, you must understand something. When Jesus says, you will lose our protection forever, it's not a curse. It's not anger. It's grief. Because even he knows that when we ignore the voice of God long enough, the voice grows quieter. The signs slow down. The covering lifts. Not because he stops loving us, but because He can't force what must be chosen freely. You've been protected in ways you'll never even know. You've been spared from accidents, betrayals, financial losses, heartbreaks, all because angels like Michael were silently deflecting arrows meant for you. And now they're tired. Not tired of protecting you. Tired of watching you walk into danger with your eyes wide shut. God is not punishing you. He is trying to preserve you. But if you choose to keep skipping these divine moments, if you tell yourself, maybe later, or, this can't be for me, then that protection will not be able to stay. You're not just ignoring a message. You're ignoring the shield around your life. And once that shield is gone, you'll feel everything at once. The spiritual attacks. The emotional chaos. The financial pressure. The loneliness. The confusion. And worst of all, the regret. You're not too late, my child, but you are very close. Very close to a spiritual expiration. Very close to a breakthrough that could collapse if not claimed. Very close to a divine inheritance that will be passed to someone else if you stay silent. That's what they don't tell you, that when you don't move, heaven does. When you don't respond, the miracle keeps walking until it finds someone who will. You were supposed to be the one who received this. You were supposed to be the one who heard it and changed. You were supposed to be the one who said yes and got flooded with the blessing. But the clock is ticking. Heaven cannot wait forever. December 22nd is your final signal, not because God is running out of mercy, but because the opportunity is running out of time. You have missed too many signs already. This cannot be another one you ignore. My child, my beloved. Do you know what breaks the heart of heaven more than anything else? It's not your mistakes. It's not your past. It's not your doubts. What breaks the heart of God is when He reaches out again and again, and you keep turning away thinking there will always be another chance. What if this is the last time He calls your name like this? What if this message, this exact moment, was your final spiritual checkpoint before the storm hits? That's not drama, that's divine urgency. There are some situations you're in right now that look calm on the surface but are seconds away from exploding. There are people smiling at you today who will show their true faces tomorrow. There are doors you keep knocking on that are secretly cursed. And God has been trying to pull you out. He didn't send Archangel Michael today just to comfort you, He sent him to confront what's trying to destroy you. Not next month. Not next year. Now. This isn't just a spiritual message. It's an emergency intervention from the kingdom of heaven. One that may not repeat again. And that's why Michael isn't whispering today. He's crying out. Because he sees what's coming behind your back, and you don't. Because he hears the plans being spoken in private rooms about you, and you don't. Because he knows which spiritual contracts are about to be enforced against your life, and you don't. But he's here, now, standing between you and the darkness, begging you not to walk past this moment like you've done so many times before. This is not the kind of message that just makes you think. This is the kind of message that saves your life. This is the kind of message you will remember a year from now and say, that was the moment that changed everything for me. But only if you listen. Only if you stop pretending that you've got all the time in the world. You don't. Time has already shifted in the spiritual realm. The clock doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God. And He's been delaying this final moment for your sake. But that delay ends today. Heaven cannot hold back your consequences any longer. What happens next depends on whether or not you say yes, right now. My beloved, please, don't make heaven watch you suffer when you could have escaped. Don't force Michael to stand down when he was ready to fight for you. Don't walk into that relationship, that agreement, that room, that silence, without your angels. Because if you do, you may never be the same again. And the truth is, there's something being hidden from you right now. Someone close to you has not told you everything. They've been covering something serious. And God is tired of watching them pretend. In the next 72 hours, you're going to begin noticing strange behavior. A person who once seemed warm will suddenly feel cold. Someone who used to check in will go silent. A small conversation will feel off, not because of what is said, but because of what is not being said. That's not coincidence. That's revelation. Heaven is beginning to open your eyes. But the process won't complete unless you submit to it now. And I know how tired you are. You're tired of false hope. Tired of the waiting. Tired of believing only to be disappointed. But what you must understand is this: the enemy didn't fight you so hard because you were weak. He fought you because your destiny is threatening to him. The very reason this year was so full of delays, betrayals, confusion, and loss, is because the enemy was trying to wear you down before this very moment. But here you are. Still standing. Still breathing. Still seeing this message that was only meant for the chosen ones. And make no mistake, you are chosen. But chosen people don't get to skip divine instructions. Chosen people are held to higher standards. Chosen people are pulled harder when they drift. Chosen people are warned louder when they're about to fall. And that's what this is. This message isn't for the curious. It's for the called. God doesn't scream to everyone. He screams to the ones He still wants to save. And He is screaming for you right now through this message. My child, my beloved. There is something that God saw coming that you didn't. And instead of letting it crash into you, He sent this message. Because what you don't realize is that someone has been praying against you. Yes, praying, but not in the way you think. Someone has been secretly hoping for your downfall. And heaven heard it. That's why Jesus is here. That's why Archangel Michael is here. Because heaven does not allow those curses to go unchecked when you belong to God. There is jealousy surrounding your name. There are conversations being had behind closed doors that include lies about you, distortions of who you are, stories you never gave permission to tell. And even though you've been silent, even though you've kept your head down, even though you've tried to be the bigger person, now God is standing up for you. But He cannot defend you in full until you open your eyes to what's around you. There is a name you trust that heaven does not trust. And this is the part that will hurt. It may be someone you love. Someone you would never suspect. And God is not trying to break your heart, He's trying to prevent it from being broken later in a way you can't recover from. So this is your moment of unveiling. Your moment of confrontation, not with others, but with truth. Because truth is the most expensive gift heaven can give. It strips illusions. It exposes the enemy. It protects what is holy. And that is why you're seeing this now. You've been lied to. You've been misled. You've been spiritually drugged by people who smiled in your face but whispered betrayal behind your back. And the reason it didn't kill you was because angels were surrounding you, even while you were unaware. But now heaven is shifting. The angels are still with you, but their sword is drawn. Their wings are no longer just a shield. They're here to strike against anything standing in the way of your destiny. But you must activate this by believing. By responding. By saying, I receive. Because this is the last call before the sword moves in silence. And once it begins, the people who once stood with you may start falling away. Not because of you. Because of exposure. They were never really with you, and God cannot let them stay beside you in the next season you're walking into. My beloved, you have cried enough. You have waited long enough. You have been patient while the wrong people benefited from your kindness. But now, God is saying, no more. No more delay. No more confusion. No more betrayal disguised as love. Archangel Michael has come to bring final clarity. Final protection. Final separation between who is for you, and who is about to be removed. The shaking is beginning. And if you feel your life becoming unstable in the next few days, know this, it's not chaos. It's divine rearrangement. What you're about to lose is not punishment. It's protection. What you're about to see fall apart is not failure. It's freedom. What you're about to witness is not rejection. It's rescue. And the only reason it will hurt is because you didn't see the truth earlier. But now you do. And with sight comes strength. With sight comes surrender. With sight comes the end of deception. And that's what heaven is giving you today, the gift of unshakable sight. Please, child, don't close your heart now. You were so close to giving up this week. Heaven saw it. Heaven felt the trembling in your soul. You said things under your breath that no one heard, but God did. You cried in a way that made angels stop what they were doing and come closer. You questioned if anything good would ever come. You asked heaven if you were forgotten. And now this message arrives, not late, not random, but perfectly on time. You are not forgotten. You are being rescued in silence. You are being rewritten from the inside out. But you cannot skip this step. The protection that comes next is only available if you respond now. If you act now. If you spiritually agree now. The moment you say, I receive what heaven has for me, something will begin to shift. And what felt blocked will begin to open. What felt distant will come closer. What felt hopeless will feel like new air in your lungs. This is not fantasy. This is spiritual law. Heaven has always honored obedience. And right now, obedience means listening when Jesus and Michael cry out for you, even when it's uncomfortable. My child, my beloved. There is something sacred about this exact moment that no clock can measure. Time in heaven doesn't tick like it does on earth. In the spiritual realm, there are windows, divine openings, where certain things are allowed to be revealed, unlocked, or protected. And right now, you are in one of those windows. But it is closing fast. You have already been granted more time than most. You were spared things you didn't even know were meant to hit you. You were preserved while others were being torn apart. Not because you were lucky, but because you were chosen. But now comes the final test. And not the kind of test that makes you perform. The kind of test that checks your alignment. Are you still with heaven? Are you still listening? Are you still responding when God calls you by name? Or have you let the noise of this world drown out the only voice that can save you? The enemy has been working overtime to distract you, not just with chaos, but with comfort. With fake peace. With familiar faces that carry hidden poison. With routines that feel safe but are actually keeping you small. And God can no longer stay silent about it. That's why this message feels different. It doesn't just call you, it shakes you. Because it's not just a message. It's a spiritual moment of exposure. Of extraction. Of heavenly confrontation. Something is being pulled out of your life right now. You may not see it. You may not understand it. But in the realm you cannot see, there is a quiet war happening over your soul. The enemy is trying to convince you to ignore this. To scroll. To say, I'll pray later. But heaven is thundering behind the scenes. Angels are standing in battle formation. Archangel Michael's hand is on the very thing that's been trying to hide from your sight. And he's ready to rip the mask off. But if you turn away now, if you say, not now, I'm busy, you may never know what could have been exposed. And what stays hidden will stay dangerous. Heaven is not punishing you, they're trying to protect you from what you've grown comfortable with. You have no idea how close darkness has crept behind you. That's why this message had to reach you today, December 22nd. It's not just a date. It's a turning point in your life. This is not just a year ending. This is a spiritual chapter closing. And how you respond in these final days will shape what God is allowed to release over you next. My beloved. There's a blessing hovering over your life that's been delayed, not denied, delayed, because of who's still standing too close to you. You've asked God for breakthrough. You've begged Him to open doors. You've pleaded for clarity, money, healing, peace, alignment. But heaven has been waiting on you to clear the area. To disconnect from the one soul tie you refuse to let go. To stop chasing after someone who already made peace with your absence. To stop explaining your heart to people who don't carry the capacity to honor it. To stop saying, maybe it will get better, when God has already shown you who they are. This message is not about bitterness. It's about boundaries. Spiritual boundaries. You cannot enter what's next with hands full of what God asked you to drop. This is why you've been restless lately. Why you've been overthinking. Why everything that once felt easy now feels heavy. Because you are carrying what no longer belongs. And heaven is trying to help you, but you keep holding on to what is spiritually expired. Let it go. Let them go. Let it fall apart. God will catch you. You don't need their approval to receive God's protection. You don't need their apology to accept your healing. You don't need closure when heaven has already closed the door. You need obedience. Obedience is better than understanding. Obedience is what unlocks the next miracle. And the moment you say, God, I let go, the blessing that's been waiting will come running toward you like a flood. You don't even realize how fast your life can change when you stop delaying what God has already decided. My child, my beloved. If only you could see what heaven sees about you. If only you could peek behind the veil and witness the angels that have been circling you since birth. If you knew the kind of battles that were fought, silently, in the background, just to bring you to this very day, you would fall to your knees in tears. This is not the kind of message that shows up randomly. This is the kind of message that had to fight through layers of resistance to finally arrive at your eyes, your ears, your soul. You think you clicked on this. But no, my child, you were chosen to be found by it. Archangel Michael has been waiting for your spirit to become still enough to receive this truth. You've been running, not in the physical, but emotionally. Running from trust. From rest. From surrender. And still, you have been found. This is not just heaven calling your name, this is heaven interrupting your cycle. The cycle that has kept you going in circles, repeating the same heartbreak in different disguises. The cycle that's been keeping your abundance locked behind gates that your own soul has refused to unlock. God is not punishing you, He's trying to prepare you. But preparation requires separation. Separation from old beliefs. From expired relationships. From familiar comfort zones that feel like peace but are secretly preventing your progress. This is why everything lately has felt like a divine disturbance. It's not that your world is falling apart, it's that your world is being realigned. The people you thought would stay forever are fading. The things you thought you needed are crumbling. And the version of you that was too small to carry your destiny is dying. This pain is not a punishment, it's a pruning. Because what's coming cannot land on the old you. What God has planned would overwhelm the version of you that still doubts, still clings to fake love, still allows crumbs when He's prepared a table. That's why this message feels so personal. Because it is. It was written for you before you even cried your first tear. God knew you would arrive here, today, needing this reminder, that you are still chosen, still protected, still wanted by heaven. But here's what must happen now. You must respond. Not later. Not after another sign. Not after another confirmation. Now. The spiritual contract over your future is awaiting your signature, and your signature is surrender. God is not asking you to perform. He's not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to believe again. To open your heart again. To let go of everything and everyone that has been delaying the arrival of what is rightfully yours. Because if you don't, if you delay again, the consequence won't just be emotional pain, it will be spiritual silence. And that silence is what hurts the most. Because it's not loud like heartbreak. It's quiet like regret. And that's what Archangel Michael and Jesus are begging you to avoid. Heaven doesn't want you to wake up one day next year and say, I missed it. Heaven doesn't want you wandering, wondering, replaying old memories, trying to rebuild something God already told you to leave. Heaven wants to place something new in your hands. Something healing. Something holy. Something heavy with promise but light with peace. But it requires a trade. You must release what you're holding, even if it has your history written all over it. Even if it's what you prayed for in a past season. Even if you thought it was your destiny. Because what God is offering you now is not based on what you used to need. It's based on who you're about to become. And that person, that higher, wiser, spiritually awakened version of you, cannot be birthed without a shedding. That's what this is. This is your shedding season. The grief you feel? It's not just loss, it's spiritual molting. Your old identity is cracking. Your old boundaries are failing. Your old explanations are no longer working. Because you are outgrowing what was only meant to be temporary. And heaven is trying to help you cross over. But if you drag the old with you, the new will be delayed, again. You can't afford another delay, child. There's a financial breakthrough with your name on it. There's a relationship sent from God that's circling, waiting for the green light to enter your life. There's a healing, in your body, your mind, your lineage, that is ready to be released. But it all waits on your yes. My child, my beloved. When heaven looks at you, it doesn't see what people see. People have looked at you through broken lenses. Some saw you as too much. Others saw you as not enough. Some only saw what they could take from you. Some only stayed because your light helped them see their own way. But when your light stopped serving their path, they called you selfish for protecting your peace. And you believed them. You started dimming yourself. You started shrinking your voice. You started editing your heart so it wouldn't make others uncomfortable. But God saw it all. Every time you bit your tongue to keep peace. Every time you said, it's okay, when it wasn't. Every time you stayed when your soul was begging you to leave. And now, heaven has declared it is time. Not time to suffer longer. Not time to wait and see if it gets better. Not time to go numb again. It is time to wake up. To walk out. To rise above the cycle that tried to keep you trapped in a version of life that never belonged to you. Archangel Michael is not just speaking, he is opening a spiritual door in this moment. A door that leads to restoration. And your name is written in gold at the entrance. But, my beloved, not everyone can walk through that door with you. You must choose, will you carry dead weight and miss your destiny? Or will you step into the unknown with angels at your side? This next version of your life has no room for counterfeit love, shallow peace, or second-guessing your worth. This next chapter will require boldness, not the loud kind, but the holy kind. The kind that whispers, "No more," in your spirit. The kind that walks away without drama because peace is more important than proving a point. The kind that doesn't need validation because God's voice has already spoken louder than the world ever could. And He is speaking now, louder than ever. This message is not just another spiritual post. It is your divine permission slip. To leave. To release. To believe again. To start over, not from scratch, but from wisdom. From sacred alignment. From a place where heaven itself backs your every step. And though the road ahead will not be easy, it will be holy. The favor that has been waiting for you is heavy, and it needs strong hands to carry it. That's why you had to be broken first. Not to weaken you, but to rebuild you into someone who could carry what is coming. There is a financial release already forming in the spirit. There is divine favor being placed over your name, in rooms you have not even entered yet. There is a supernatural elevation coming, and those who underestimated you will be silenced by the weight of your transformation. But child, not if you skip this message. Not if you delay your surrender. Not if you pretend you didn't hear this. You have no idea how close your moment is. You've been counting days. But heaven has been counting decisions. And this right here, is one of the most important decisions of your life. Will you say yes to heaven and no to fear? Or will you let fear disguise itself as logic, as waiting, as timing, and keep you small? You were never made to fit into a life of survival. You were made to reign. To walk with angels. To walk into rooms that shift the atmosphere because the Holy Spirit lives inside you. That's why you never fit in. That's why they never really knew how to love you. That's why you always felt out of place in circles you were supposed to leave a long time ago. You don't belong in shallow water. You're an ocean soul. But you've been drowning in puddles, child. Too deep for the shallow. Too called for the common. Too chosen to pretend you're not. This message is your mirror. Look closely. Heaven is trying to remind you of who you are. And once you remember, everything changes. The moment you say, "God, I'm ready," the wind will shift. Not metaphorically, spiritually. Things will begin to align. People who were ignoring you will suddenly feel the distance. Opportunities you forgot about will resurface. Rest will return to your mind. Clarity will begin to pour into your soul. You won't need to chase anything. What belongs to you will start to locate you. Because obedience magnetizes miracles. That's the law of the Spirit. And right now, you are standing at the threshold of one of the biggest miracles of your life. But the only key that opens that door is surrender. So say yes, beloved. Even if you're scared. Even if you don't see how. Even if you still feel broken. Say yes anyway. Because when God hears your yes, he sends angels to handle the how. My child, my beloved. There's something sacred about the moment heaven hears your yes. It isn't just a whisper from your lips, it becomes a command in the spirit realm. The moment your heart aligns with heaven's timing, the angels receive their orders. What was locked begins to shake open. What was stagnant begins to stir. What was lost begins to return. And what seemed impossible begins to unfold as if it had always been waiting for you. But the truth is, it was. There are blessings that were created long before you were born, with your name carved into them. But those blessings can't land where fear is louder than faith. They can't bloom in soil where compromise has poisoned the roots. And that's why things had to be shaken. That's why God allowed things to feel uncomfortable. Because comfort would have cost you your calling. The person you thought would stay, had to leave. The door you were sure would open, had to shut. The plan you tried to build, had to collapse. Not because God was angry, but because He was protecting the version of your life that aligns with the version of your soul He loves most, the real you. The healed you. The free you. And that version is waking up right now. Do you feel it? That stirring in your stomach, that weight in your chest, that subtle ache in your spirit that says, something is about to change. That's not anxiety. That's spiritual labor. You are birthing the version of your life that no one believed in, not even you. But heaven believed. Archangel Michael has been circling you not just to protect, but to prepare. To clear the space. To shield your name. To break the invisible chains around your progress. And now, finally, the moment has come. You are no longer being delayed. You are no longer being overlooked. You are no longer being punished. You are being positioned. What once rejected you will soon reach out for you. What once made you feel like a mistake will become your testimony. What once drained your energy will no longer even be able to access you. Because the veil has lifted. The illusion is over. And the truth is this. You were always meant to rise. You were always meant to lead. You were always meant to walk with power, not just soft prayers, but thunder in your voice. Heaven in your posture. Fire in your words. You are not fragile. You are chosen. But this world has tried to make you forget. You've been surviving in places where you were called to reign. You've been tolerating what you were called to transform. You've been bending where you were called to break generational curses. And that's why Jesus is weeping over you in this moment. Not because you've failed, but because you've forgotten who you are. And now He's come, not to scold, not to judge, but to remind you, gently, urgently, it's time. Time to step into the promise. Time to rise from the ruins. Time to let the past fall off your shoulders like broken chains. You have been marked for more, and the evidence of that calling is the very warfare you've been through. The attack wasn't proof of failure. It was proof of value. The enemy never fights what doesn't threaten him. You've been attacked so violently, because you carry something so holy. But now? Now it's your turn to fight back, not in anger, but in alignment. Not with fists, but with faith. Not with exhaustion, but with obedience. Because when you align with God, the enemy loses access. And today, December 22nd, that access is being revoked. Heaven is setting new boundaries around your life. Angels are being reassigned to your path. Spiritual contracts are being burned. The attack ends here. But only if you accept this moment. Only if you say, I choose to walk in what heaven has written for me.